Picture this. It's 11:37 p.m. You're lying in bed, phone glowing in your face like it's the only light left in the world. You're scrolling, half asleep, and bam, there's your old high school friend posting from the driveway of his brand new truck. Not just any truck. This thing's lifted, blacked out, chrome accents catching the porch light just right, looking like it rolled straight out of a rap video. And for a split second, your stomach does this weird flip. You think, man, I grind every day too. Why am I still driving that same dented sedan from 2012? I deserve an upgrade. I've earned it. So you tap over to the dealer's site just to look. Next thing you know, you're running numbers, seeing monthly payments that feel doable. Barely. You imagine pulling up to work, heads turning, that little rush of, yeah, I made it. Fast forward 3 months, the first repair bill hits. Insurance is double what you expected. Gas is eating your paycheck, and suddenly every dollar feels spoken for before you even earn it. The truck that was supposed to scream success, it's quietly screaming, you're broke, every time the payment notification pings. You ever been there? Caught in that exact loop? Yeah, me too. My name is Finn, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, financial psychology, and why some people seem to glide through life building real wealth, while the rest of us, maybe you, maybe me, keep getting sucked back into the same expensive patterns decade after decade. Honestly, it's kind of wild how we do this to ourselves. We chase these shiny status symbols thinking they'll finally make us feel like we've arrived. But most of the time they just leave us further behind financially, emotionally, sometimes even in our relationships. But here's the quiet hope I want to plant right now. What if escaping this trap wasn't about deprivation or becoming some monk who owns 3 shirts and lives in a van? What if it was actually the fastest way to flip your entire life script? Imagine waking up and the first thing you feel isn't dread about bills, it's actual space. Breathing room. Money working for you instead of the other way around. By the time we're done here, you're probably going to look at your own spending, your feed, your impulses in a completely different way. Not with guilt, but with clarity. And that shift? It can be massive. So stick with me. Let's unpack this thing slowly, honestly, like we're just 2 friends figuring it out together. First, let's get crystal clear on what the status symbol trap actually is, because it's sneakier than most people realize. It's not just buying expensive stuff. It's spending money to buy an identity, to broadcast a version of yourself to the world, whether that world is your coworkers, your ex, your parents, or random strangers on the internet. It's the Rolex that says, I'm successful, the designer sneakers that say, I'm in the know, the over-the-top vacation pics that say, my life is better than yours. These aren't purchases, they're signals. And the crazy part? We're paying a premium, sometimes literally thousands extra just for the signaling power. I think about my buddy Jake again. We met freshman year. He was the guy who always had the best playlist and the worst Car-An 03 Civic with a missing hubcap. After graduation, he lands a decent engineering gig. First real paycheck hits, and within weeks, he's signing papers on a leased BMW convertible. I've been broke my whole life, man, he told me at the time. Time to live a little. And yeah, for a while it was awesome. Valet guys high-fived him. Dates were impressed. His mom posted it on Facebook like he'd won the lottery. But 6 months in, reality crept up. The lease payments were brutal. Insurance was insane because he was under 30. One rock chip on the windshield, $800, a tiny scratch from a parking lot, another few hundred. He started eating ramen again. Not ironically, but because he had to. Student loans were still there. Credit card debt was creeping in from small upgrades like tent and wheels. One night over cheap beers, he looked at me and said, Finn, I thought owning this thing would make me feel free. Instead, I feel owned. That line stuck with me. It's the perfect summary of the trap. You buy the symbol to feel bigger, but it ends up making your life smaller. Let's break it down simply. Status symbols operate on 3 main psychological and financial levers. 1. Social comparison. We're hardwired to measure ourselves against others. Thousands of years ago, flashing resources got you respect, mates, safety. Today it's likes, comments, nods at the gym. Social media supercharges this. Everyone's highlight reel makes your behind the scenes feel like failure. 2. Instant dopamine. Buying the thing gives you a chemical hit. It feels like winning. Problem is, hedonic adaptation kicks in fast. You get used to it. The buzz fades. Now you need the next thing. 3. Brutal depreciation plus ongoing costs. Almost everything marketed as status loses value immediately. Cars drop 20 to 30% the second you drive off. Luxury bags depreciate slower but still bleed over time. And then there's the vampire drain. Maintenance, insurance, storage, upgrades, replacements. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Why does this matter so much to you personally? Because if you're watching long-form finance content at this hour, there's a decent chance you feel financially squeezed. Paycheck comes in, vanishes, repeat. No real savings buffer. No investments growing. No plan for emergencies or freedom. The status trap is one of the biggest culprits. Every dollar funneled into signaling is a dollar not compounding, not building an emergency fund, not paying down high-interest debt, not buying your future self more options. Actionable step 1. Do a brutal status audit this week. Grab a notebook or phone note. List your last 10 to 20 bigger purchases, anything over $100. For each one, ask, did I buy this mostly for how it makes me look, feel to others? What's the true monthly cost including upkeep, insurance, depreciation? What would that money have done if invested at 7 to 10% average market return over 10 years? I did this myself a couple years back. Found I dropped almost $4,000 on pro camera gear I barely used just because it looked serious when I posted setup pics. That $4K at 8% for 10 years, around $8,600, oof, that one hurt. But awareness is the first crack in the trap. Now let's go deeper into the psychology, because understanding why your brain keeps betraying you is half the battle. Ever wonder why someone else's luxury post makes you physically uncomfortable? That's social comparison theory in real time. Leon Festinger coined it back in the 1950s. We determine our own worth by comparing ourselves to others when objective measures are fuzzy. In a world without curated feeds, comparison was limited to your village. Now it's global, 24/7, and heavily filtered. For example, Sarah is a perfect case study. She's 34, teaches 3rd grade, makes maybe 55K DAS. Good heart, great at her job. But her Instagram is a non-stop parade of Coachella outfits, European getaways, $800 handbags. I asked her about it once after Thanksgiving dinner. She teared up a little and said, if I don't show I'm living a big life, I feel like I'm invisible, like my life doesn't count. Turns out most of it was financed. Credit cards maxed. Interest eating her alive. 1 month, she couldn't buy her son new shoes because the minimum payment on a statement bag was due. That moment broke her. She's doing better now, deleted the account, started therapy, focused on real relationships. But it took hitting that wall. The brain chemicals make it worse. Acquiring status items triggers dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, a cocktail that feels like love or victory. Then hedonic adaptation sets in. The new normal feels meh, so you chase the next hit. Add FOMO, scarcity marketing, limited drop, and advertisers who've mastered selling identity over utility, and it's a perfect storm. This matters because in an economy where real wages have barely budged for decades while housing, education, and healthcare skyrocket, status chasing is one of the main reasons people stay trapped. It's not laziness. It's human nature weaponized by algorithms and marketing. Practical antidotes. Gratitude journaling, 3 non-material things daily. Sounds cheesy. Works stupidly well. Social media hygiene, 30-minute daily limit. Unfollow anyone who triggers envy. Dopamine detox. Days no purchases. No scrolling. Just boring real life. I did a full week once. Felt antsy at first, then peaceful. Savings jumped. Let's zoom in on the most common status traps people fall into because naming them makes them less powerful. Trap number 1. Cars. The king. Americans love them. Average new car payment now hovers around $700 to $800 a month. Many finance 100% plus with long terms. Meanwhile, millionaires disproportionately drive Toyotas and Hondas that are paid off. Coincidence? Nope. Trap number 2. Phones and tech. $1,200 to $1,600 flagships every 12 to 18 months. Mid-range phones do 95% of the same stuff for half the price. But the logo, the camera bragging rights, it's status. Trap number 3. Clothing and accessories. Fast fashion plus luxury dupes plus limited drops. People own wardrobes. They don't wear because trends move so fast. Trap number 4. Housing and lifestyle creep, upsizing to the right neighborhood to signal success, even when smaller would be fine. Trap number 5. Experiences as status 10Ks dollar destination weddings, financed honeymoons, VIP festival tickets all posted for validation, hidden costs everywhere, time, researching, maintaining, energy, stress, health, working extra to afford it, opportunity, missed investments. My neighbor Tom bought a 4,500 square feet house for entertaining clients. Mortgage plus taxes, plus utilities, plus HOA plus landscaping equals $800 a month. He's in sales, so he's on the road constantly to cover it, misses his kids' games, told me last summer, I bought the house to have a life. Now, the house has my life. Brutal, actionable, calculate life cost. If you earn 40/hour after taxes, a $1,000 item equals 25 hours of your life. Ask, is this worth 3 to 4 full workdays? Now, relationships, oh man, this trap destroys them quietly. Mismatched spending styles cause more fights than almost anything else. One partner wants to flex, the other wants security. Resentment builds. Friends Lisa and Mark almost divorced over it. She planned $15K birthday parties to keep up. He quietly paid the credit cards, fought constantly. Therapy helped them align, shared goals over appearances. They're happier, wealthier now. Advice: have the money talk early. Define success together. Celebrate frugality as a team win. Breaking free starts with redefining success, not possessions, but control over your time and choices. Warren Buffett still lives in the house he bought in 1958, drives a 20 Cadillac. Why? Because status is a distraction. Real wealth is options. Shift your identity from I have to I can choose. Track net worth monthly. Invest automatically even $50/month compounds. Practical roadmap: 1 30-day wait rule on non-essentials. 2 buy months. Start with 1. 3-day wait rule on non-essentials. 2. No buy months. Start with 1. Build wealth friends, people who value freedom over flash. 4. Read The Millionaire Next Door, Your Money or Your Life. 5. Celebrate progress publicly if it helps. Quiet wins, though usually feel better. One viewer sold his 8K Rolex after a video like this, invested it. 2 years later, up 3K. Said it felt better than wearing it ever did. Long-term, freedom to say no to bad jobs, travel without debt, help family, leave a legacy. Less anxiety, more presence. Wrapping this up, yeah, we went long, but you stuck around. So thank you. The status trap is everywhere. In our wiring, our feeds, our culture, but it's not unbreakable. You don't have to become boring or cheap. You just have to stop renting other people's approval with your future. Start tiny. Audit 1 category this week. Move 20 to savings instead of takeout. Feel the shift. You're capable of this. Not overnight, but one quiet choice at a time. You've got this. Seriously. Thanks for hanging out this long. Let's keep building something better.